you know, feel bad, but my character is badass. But now, best to the bone.
Tony Jaa, the legendary martial artist known for his iconic role in Ong-Bak, is finally revealing shocking details about Bruce Lee. What does Jaa think about the martial arts legend and what make this controversy so intense? Join us as we uncover the chilling mysteries that changes everything you thought you knew about Bruce Lee. Tony Jaa's journey into the world of martial arts didn't start with a grand revelation or a childhood dream of stardom. Instead, it began in the same way many other martial artists first discover their passion, through the electrifying films of Bruce Lee. For Jaa, like so many others before him, Bruce Lee was the catalyst that ignited his love for martial arts. It wasn't just Lee's impeccable technique or his ferocity in combat. It was something deeper, something intangible. The first time Jaa watched Bruce Lee on screen, something clicked. It wasn't just the martial arts that fascinated him. It was the way Lee moved, the rhythm and precision in every strike. There was a soul to Bruce Lee's movements that made them stand out, something more than just speed or power. Watching Lee perform wasn't just about observing someone who was physically gifted. It was about experiencing an emotion. You could feel the intensity, the energy, the focus, and the passion through every punch, every kick, every movement. It was pure magic. As Tony Jaa's career progressed, it became clear that while he was inspired by Bruce Lee, he wasn't simply interested in mimicking Lee's every move. Jaa's personal evolution in martial arts wasn't about copying what came before him. It was about finding his own voice, pushing the limits of what was possible, and creating something truly unique. One of the first noticeable things about Jaa's style was his focus on Muay Thai, the martial art of his homeland. But Jaa didn't just stop there. He began to mix it with other techniques and cinematic elements, creating a martial arts style that felt modern yet deeply rooted in tradition. This is where the evolution from imitation to innovation took place. Tony Jaa didn't want to be another Bruce Lee clone. He wanted to be Tony Jaa, with a unique fighting style that would set him apart in the world of martial arts cinema. One major turning point for Jaa was his breakthrough film Ong-Bak, a movie that became an instant classic in the martial arts world. In Ong-Bak, Jaa blended breathtaking stunts with intense fight choreography, showcasing his own interpretation of martial arts that paid homage to the tradition of Muay Thai, while incorporating the fluidity and expressiveness that Bruce Lee had inspired in him. But Jaa didn't stop there. He continually pushed the envelope with each successive film, introducing new ideas, new techniques, and new ways of telling stories through movement.
This is really important for me. I can inspire from the Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee and Jet Li, but we need to signature.
Jaa often talks about the importance of timing in martial arts. This isn't about executing moves with the clock ticking down to the perfect second. It's about feeling the action unfold and knowing when to move, when to strike, and when to pause. For Jaa, martial arts becomes like a beat, each movement building upon the last, every kick and punch like notes in a song. Just like Bruce Lee's fights had a rhythm to them that felt both instinctive and calculated, Jaa's choreography flows like a well-composed piece of music.
He's very powerful. I've never felt power like it, to be honest, from any other martial arts actor.
As Tony Jaa's career gained momentum, he found himself at a crossroads, balancing the deep traditions of martial arts with the ever-growing demands of modern cinema. While Bruce Lee had bridged the gap between Eastern martial arts and Hollywood in the 1970s, Jaa was now tasked with doing something similar in the 21st century. However, the cinematic world had changed drastically since Lee's time, and the pressure to conform to modern filmmaking standards was immense. While Lee revolutionized martial arts on screen with his raw, authentic style, Jaa was now facing the challenge of finding his place in a world where digital effects, wires, and quick-cut editing dominated the action genre. One of the most fascinating aspects of Jaa's career is his ability to take Bruce Lee's legacy into new territories. While Lee's legacy was grounded in the martial arts of his era, primarily Chinese and Hong Kong-based martial arts, Jaa brought a fresh perspective by incorporating Muay Thai, a martial art rooted in Thai culture, into his fight choreography. But like Lee, Jaa was never limited by tradition. He blended various martial arts styles, creating something new and exciting, but always with respect for the traditions he came from. Tony Jaa's rise to fame, fueled by his hard work, discipline, and immense respect for Bruce Lee's teachings, marked the beginning of a new era in martial arts cinema.
Martial arts actors on the planet, and you are at the very top of the list.
Oh no, I'm
Yes.
so lucky. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. Really love in Drunken Matter also because the how they do the stunt is black flip and kick and like kung fu style. This kung fu is a different style. The Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is original,
Tony Jaa's rise to fame in the martial arts world wasn't overnight. His journey was shaped by years of dedication, hard work, and a passion for preserving the martial arts that shaped him. The Thai action star made his global breakthrough with the release of Ong-Bak in 2003, a film that completely revolutionized martial arts action cinema. Jaa, who grew up watching Hong Kong action films and was inspired by martial artists like Jackie Chan, brought something fresh to the screen. His stunts were not CGI heavy. They were raw, dangerous, and deeply rooted in real martial arts forms like Muay Thai and traditional Thai boxing. Before Ong-Bak, Jaa had spent years training under the guidance of master trainers in Thailand. His childhood fascination with martial arts evolved into an obsession, and by the time he was a young man, he was already practicing difficult moves that only the most skilled could pull off. It wasn't just the fights and the choreography that captivated audiences. It was his athleticism, his precision, and his refusal to use wire work or CGI. As Jaa's reputation grew, so did his impact on the international stage. His subsequent films, including The Protector and Tom Yum Goong, showcased his evolving skills, offering a new level of intensity and physicality. These films not only solidified his position as a global martial arts star, but they also made Jaa the face of modern action cinema, a new breed of martial artist who rejected Hollywood's reliance on special effects in favor of real, authentic physicality. Despite his massive success, Jaa has always remained humble, often stating that his work is a tribute to his inspirations, many of whom, like Bruce Lee, laid the foundation for what martial arts cinema has become today. So, what happens when someone like Tony Jaa, a contemporary martial arts legend in his own right, is asked to speak about the icon that is Bruce Lee? Is there a sense of competition, admiration, or even reverence? The truth is, Jaa's journey has always been tied to Bruce Lee's legacy in some way, even if the two stars come from entirely different cultural backgrounds and time periods. Bruce Lee isn't just a name, it's a legacy that transformed the martial arts world and left an indelible mark on global cinema. Born in San Francisco but raised in Hong Kong, Bruce Lee didn't just master martial arts, he revolutionized the way people viewed combat, physicality, and discipline. His impact transcended the ring and the screen. He made martial arts an art form, a philosophy, and a lifestyle. For decades, martial artists and action stars have been compared to Bruce Lee. The question of who would be able to match or surpass Lee's talents has always loomed large. While no one has been able to fill his shoes completely, countless martial artists have been pitted against Lee in public discourse, often without their consent. Tony Jaa, with his unique style of physical action and martial arts, is frequently mentioned in these debates. His powerful presence in Ong-Bak and his ability to perform death-defying stunts caught the attention of martial arts fans who saw him as a worthy heir to Bruce Lee's throne. The media has often drawn parallels between Jaa's intense training regimens and Lee's own dedication to martial arts mastery. However, these comparisons have always been complicated. On one hand, Jaa's stunts and physical feats seem to channel the same energy that Bruce Lee brought to his films. On the other hand, Jaa's style is very different. While Lee fused traditional Chinese martial arts with his own innovations, Jaa's approach is more grounded in Thai Muay Thai and traditional Southeast Asian fighting techniques. In the years following Jaa's rise to fame, many in the martial arts community speculated on whether Jaa was the next big thing in the same way Bruce Lee had once been. But this speculation often leads to more questions than answers. Does Tony Jaa even want to be compared to Bruce Lee? Does he embrace the idea of following in Lee's footsteps? Or does he want to carve his own path entirely? And what about the larger issue of how modern martial arts, heavily influenced by CGI and elaborate choreography, stands in contrast to the raw, gritty fight scenes that made Bruce Lee famous? When Tony Jaa finally addressed Bruce Lee publicly, the world listened. For years, fans and critics alike had speculated on what Jaa thought of Lee, and the time had finally come for him to share his perspective. His words were measured, thoughtful, and incredibly respectful, qualities that have always defined Jaa's persona. Jaa didn't just see Bruce Lee as a figure of legend. He viewed him as the pioneer who opened the doors for martial artists like him to pursue their craft on the world stage. In interviews, Jaa has said that Bruce Lee was a major inspiration for his own training and career. He admired Lee's discipline, his commitment to pushing boundaries, and his ability to blend art with combat. But what Jaa said that truly surprised fans was his admission that Lee wasn't just an inspiration to him as a martial artist, but but as a human being. Ja often references Lee's philosophy of overcoming obstacles and the importance of mental strength in martial arts. One quote that resonated with fans was Ja's reflection on Lee's attitude towards life. Bruce Lee wasn't just about fighting. He fought for everything in his life, for his place in the world. That's what I've tried to do in my career, fight for my place and my own style. But Ja didn't stop at admiration. He also addressed the pressure that comes with being compared to a legend like Bruce Lee. In candid moments, Ja admitted that it was both an honor and a burden to be constantly linked to Lee's name. The pressure is there, but it's also what drives me, Ja said, explaining that he strives to honor Lee's legacy without losing his own identity in the process. For Tony Jaa, being compared to Bruce Lee has never been a simple matter of admiration. It's come with immense pressure. As one of the most recognizable martial artists in modern cinema, Jaa's name often gets mentioned in the same breath as Lee's. But while some might relish the comparison, Jaa has always been cautious. In many ways, the pressure to live up to Lee's name has been a double-edged sword. Jaa's journey has been marked by his desire to stay true to his roots while paying homage to those who came before him. Unlike Lee, who broke new ground in Hollywood and took on racial stereotypes, Jaa's career has largely been grounded in his homeland of Thailand. His focus has been on preserving traditional Thai martial arts, while blending them with the broader martial arts cinema landscape. This approach has allowed Jaa to carve his own niche, but it hasn't been without challenges. The weight of being constantly compared to Bruce Lee is one that many martial artists have felt. Lee is synonymous with martial arts, his name is revered, and his legacy is untouchable. For Jaa, the comparison is both a blessing and a curse. While it offers validation, it also creates an expectation that he must live up to the standards set by Lee, one that no one could truly replicate. Tony Jaa has often spoken about how these comparisons fuel him rather than discourage him. Instead of feeling overshadowed, Jaa channels the pressure into improving his craft. In interviews, he's admitted that the constant comparison to Bruce Lee can be overwhelming at times. "I never set out to be the next Bruce Lee," Jaa said in one of his interviews. "I just wanted to create my own path, but the world won't let you escape the shadow of such an iconic figure." This sentiment rings true for many martial artists who have followed in Bruce Lee's footsteps. But Jaa doesn't view this comparison as a competition. He sees it as a way to honor Lee's legacy while continuing to innovate on his own terms. The pressure to live up to Bruce Lee's name also extends to the way Jaa approaches his training in filmmaking. Bruce Lee was known for his relentless work ethic, and Jaa has followed suit. The grueling physical demands of his films, especially the highly technical fight scenes, are a testament to his commitment to pushing boundaries. Yet, despite his impressive feats, Jaa has always maintained that his greatest inspiration isn't just Lee's fighting skills, but his mindset. It's this mindset that allows him to push through the physical limitations of martial arts and achieve what many thought impossible. But it also means that he doesn't shy away from the struggles that come with being a modern martial artist in a world where expectations are high. The pressure to live up to the standards set by Bruce Lee is something Jaa continues to grapple with. He doesn't have the luxury of just being himself. He's forced to contend with the towering figure of Lee, whose name casts a long shadow in the martial arts world. As expected, Tony Jaa's comments about Bruce Lee have caused quite a stir in the martial arts community. Fans, martial artists, and commentators have all weighed in on what Jaa said, and the reactions have been as varied as the martial arts styles themselves. On one hand, many fans of Tony Jaa applauded his candidness and the respect he showed to Bruce Lee. They saw Jaa's words as a genuine acknowledgement of Lee's unparalleled influence on martial arts cinema and global culture. Martial arts experts, however, have offered a more nuanced perspective. Some see Jaa's comments as a reflection of his deep admiration for Lee, while others feel that Jaa is carving a new path that distances himself from the Bruce Lee legacy. There's a growing belief that Jaa's martial arts style and his approach to filmmaking represent a shift away from traditional martial arts cinema towards something more modern and daring. The rise of Jaa, along with other martial arts stars like Donnie Yen and Jet Li, has introduced new styles and techniques that break away from the more formalized traditions of the past. The debate over Jaa's comments has even spilled into online martial arts forums and social media platforms, where fans from all over the world have expressed their opinions. Some argue that Jaa's career is defined by his own brand of martial arts, while others point out that every modern martial artist, regardless of their style, owes a debt to Bruce Lee. Many commentators argue that the truth lies somewhere in the middle, that Jaa's respect for Lee doesn't diminish his own achievements or the unique contributions he's made to martial arts cinema. However, despite being profoundly influenced by Lee, Jia was determined to carve his own path. This was not about simply replicating what had been done before. Jia knew that martial arts cinema needed to evolve, just as Bruce Lee had envisioned when he brought martial arts into the global spotlight in the 70s. Jia didn't just want to be another Bruce Lee imitator. He wanted to honor the legacy and take it in bold new directions, pushing the boundaries of what martial arts films could achieve. But beyond just the fighting style, Jia's approach to martial arts filmmaking also mirrored Lee's philosophy of fluidity and freedom. While many action films rely heavily on fast cuts and camera tricks to amplify the action, Jia's films prioritized long, uninterrupted takes that showcased his incredible physicality. It was a way of honoring Bruce Lee's preference for real, uncut combat, something that felt genuine and untamed rather than choreographed and artificial. Jia's performances brought authenticity back into the martial arts genre, showing that raw talent and preparation could still outperform flashy editing and digital tricks. As we look toward the future of martial arts cinema, one thing is clear. Tony Jia is one of the key figures who will shape its next evolution. Just as Bruce Lee laid the groundwork for martial arts films to break into the global market, Jia is pushing the genre to even greater heights. His commitment to performing his own stunts, combining the authenticity of traditional martial arts with modern filmmaking techniques, and his dedication to the craft of martial arts has ensured that the legacy of Bruce Lee will continue to live on in new and exciting ways. Looking ahead, we can expect to see even more collaboration between martial artists from different cultures, combining their unique fighting styles and philosophies to create something entirely new. Tony Jia's influence is already spreading far beyond the confines of his own films. He's helping to shape the next generation of martial artists, filmmakers, and action heroes. And as the global audience continues to crave more authentic, high-octane action films, Jia will be there, continuing to push the boundaries of what martial arts cinema can be. What do you think? Will we ever see another Bruce Lee? Or has Jia already reinvented the future of martial arts on screen? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for further updates.